Okay, so before we head into PowerPoint and start playing around with the 3D model from Blender, I want to show you where and how I find free 3D models and the sound effects I use throughout this module. One of the many things you can use ChatGPT for is asking it to find websites that offer specific resources. For example, in this case, I asked ChatGPT to find me a sound file of a flying plane. ChatGPT gave me a bunch of options, and the first one I clicked worked perfectly. But what about the others? Well, not so fantastic. I didn't really want to go to Wikipedia. And the third link didn't even work. But the fourth one was another success. Okay, so let's try doing this with Google. I asked Google the same question and got a similar response. So, why use one over the other? Well, that's a tough question. One key thing to consider is how Google operates. Google makes money by prioritizing sponsored content, meaning the top results are often paid ads rather than the most relevant answers. In my case, the first three results were sponsored, which can make Google a bit more biased in its results. On the other hand, ChatGPT is trained on older data and might not always provide the most up-to-date results. However, it does have a web search functionality. But is that actually better than a Google search? That's hard to tell. For me, the biggest difference is that ChatGPT offers a more conversational experience. This makes it more forgiving if you're a bad speller or if you don't know exactly what you're looking for. Google, on the other hand, relies heavily on keywords, meaning you need to phrase your search correctly to get the best results. In the end, I did find the same solution through Google. I ended up using tuna.voicemod.net for the sound file I needed. You can find the link in the materials provided. We also just saw that similar resources are available on soundj.com and zapsplat.com. It doesn't matter which one you use. Just find one you like and download it. Or simply use the sound file from the materials. Quick disclaimer: I'm not sponsored by any of the websites or tools used in this course. Okay, moving on to 3D models. Just like before, I asked ChatGPT to help me find some 3D models, and it suggested a few options. I decided to go with sketchfab.com. Let me quickly show you how to download. Go to sketchfab.com, and under Explore, you'll see a variety of categories. You can click one, or just search for free in the search bar. Once you find a free model you like, click the download button in the top right corner. If you don't already have an account, it will ask you to create one, but don't worry, it's free. If you don't want to sign up, you can simply download the 3D models from the materials provided. Once your account is set up, you can download the GLB version of the file. That's the 3D file format. And there we go. Now, let's head into PowerPoint and bring our new 3D models to life.